Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dee, Amy, Christian, Sherry. I don't know about you, but this morning it was rough waking up this morning. Mike's like, boy, Brock, you always got that energy. I was like, trust me, there was zero energy at 4:35 this morning, like zero. I'm back to the grind, the real world. We're going to get into we got mornings with Mike today. Good morning, Elizabeth. We're going to talk a little bit about awareness. We're going to talk about some strategies we are going to do in December. Can you believe December is right around the corner? Remind me to tell you end of this week to remind you about our expired calls at the end of this month here, with November right around the corner. So let's dive into today. So good morning, everybody. So my name is Brock Zevan. I'm a life coach, business coach, real estate agent, and a dad. And I've been all dad the last probably 5 or 6 days. Been to the Biltmore, went to Grove Park, went to a museum, kids museum, had the best time. I was telling Mike when we were leaving today with the kids, I have a saying that it's sad when I have to leave them after being with them 24/7. Yesterday I had a really good time. Wendy came over and we just hung out and watched football and just really relaxed yesterday just to get ourselves grind up, getting ready for today. Good morning, Karen. And I was telling the kids this morning on the car ride, I said, guys, I miss you. And we're like, miss you, Daddy. And I said, well, here's the good news, guys. In order to come back, you have to leave. And they looked at me a little weird, but it is so true. I remember hearing that, Stephanie, that in order to come back, you do have to leave. And so that was our saying this morning in the car ride, dropping them off at school. But here's the thing, okay? Everybody gather themselves. Make sure you got your phones near you where you can type in, because I'm going to ask you a couple questions here, okay? Now, stay with me on this because the topic is awareness, okay? I was reading the book. I read the book, The Secret by Rhonda Bryan. Really, really good book. And yesterday, driving home, the kids were doing their thing on their TVs and tablets, and I read the book again, The Secret. And man, it's just amazing, different parts when you read the book and the season of you're in. And so the topic was remember awareness. Okay. And there's something I do with my phone. We've talked about it several different times of what I do with my cell phone. And I didn't know this at the time period, but it kind of made me like reflect on it, like, well, that makes sense. But here's what I want you guys to think about. Okay. This past week, on the Thanksgiving week, what were you doing can you remember what you were doing Wednesday at 2:00? This past week, Wednesday at 2:00, could you remember what you're doing? I'm seeing a couple eyeballs look up at the ceiling, like, I wonder what I was doing. Okay. Now pay attention to the day. What were you doing Friday at 2:00? Friday at 2:00. Anybody remember Friday at 2:00? How about Saturday? Saturday at 2:00. Saturday at 2:00. We really starting to think now, like, man, what the hell was I doing Saturday at 2? Okay. Now, pay attention to this, everybody. Okay. Hopefully you're still with me here. What were you doing Thanksgiving Thursday at 2:00? Thursday at 2:00. Was Thursday at 2:00 a little bit easier for you to remember than the Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays? Okay. Greg said the Michigan football game. So there was an attachment to his awareness. Yep. Dropping off my daughter. Who else remembers Thursday at 2:00? I remember driving. We were going to Wendy's parents' house. And I was getting ready to cook the turkey because we ate late at 5, but I remember to a T what was going on. I was with Bryce. Brielle was with Wendy. I was getting ready to put the air fryer in, playing with cousins, new puppies, working. Sure you were, Mike. But here's the thing. The value that our calendar was placed on Thursday, the society placed on Thursday at 2:00 was far greater than it is on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and hell, I'm just going to say that for the principle behind it, the normal days of the week. We struggle with remembering awareness during the normal days of the week because they all blend in together. How many of us have said, man, what happened to today? How many said, man, where did the week go? I don't know about you, but where did 2022 go? Where did it, guys, December is in a couple days. 2022 is gone in the real estate world because any deals that we have now are going into January. So when Rhonda said this of what makes people different, what makes the elite, what makes those that are law of attraction, what makes those at a different level is to remember awareness. And that is why I challenge you. We talk about it many times on my cell phone from Monday through Friday. My cell phone has a silent alarm that goes off from 9 o'clock till 6 o'clock every hour. Christian said it the other day. You don't have to do it every hour if you don't want to, but I challenge you to do it every hour this week. What it does, it allows you to remember the awareness of where you are in life. There was many times this past weekend when I was with my kids that I would stop and I would say, man, this is a great moment I'm having with my kids right here. Because guess what? I said it happens Monday through Friday. That means Thursday and Friday, my alarm was still going off and I was remembering moments. I remember Wendy and I were talking that Thursday morning and I said, I'm really struggling this morning because I don't have a routine. I'm not used to this. It was a challenge for me. And I said, whoa, Brock, what the hell are you saying? You're having a challenge with out of being in routine, sitting here relaxing, watching the parade? Like, get over yourself. See, it works good and bad because it reflected my attitude for where I was at the time period of get yourself out of your tail and recognize the people you're with to have an attitude adjustment instead of carrying it on throughout the rest of the day. See, the same thing happens to us all when we get ourselves in a rut, when we woke up this morning like, oh, damn it. I got to freaking work today. I got to go here today. I got to meet this client today. Wendy's got to go to inspection on the other side of town. I completely forgot about it. You know, I'm pretty sure to travel 45 minutes to an hour for an inspection is not like, let's get excited here. I'm pretty sure this morning when your alarm clock came off, everybody, I'm pretty sure D was not like, I cannot wait to attack my FISBOs today. I'm so excited to make these phone calls today. I'm sure Sherry wasn't like, you know what? I got this flight going on here and I get to go to work here and I get to do this. Sandy's not jumping for joy on certain things, right? Karen, I'm sure she wasn't like, wow, I'm so excited about today, right? Our attitude was first tested this morning. But here's the thing. When you get to remember your awareness of where you are, do you, by showing of hands, giving a thumbs up, can you pivot and redirect at that time? Can you redirect yourself? Because my phone went off and I had my alarm checked at 10 o'clock. And I said, you know what? I'm actually in the hot tub with the kids, spend some time with them, get myself corrected again, get myself reoriented again. And throughout the day today, I got up. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have to go through the motions. Jacko talks about it all the time in his book, Ownership. But I was aware of the moment. So I'm going to challenge you. Give me a thumbs up. Give me something, a yes in the chat. If you're willing to challenge yourself this week to set your alarm at 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock, 4 times, how many of you are willing to take that challenge on today to help you be aware of your calendar and your attitude today? How many of you are willing to take that on? Sandy is. Good, Sandy. Amy is. Good. Christian, Sherry, good. Manuel is willing to do it. Monday through Friday, okay? Set it in your calendar. Who else is willing to take? Karen's willing to do it. Awesome, Karen. That this is something that you can do, guys. It's 4 times a day, 9, 12, 3, and 6. Get yourself looking at your calendar to make sure that you're in a check mode. Check your altitude. Stephanie's ready. To be able to get yourself into that position, to make yourself aware, because the calendar is not going to be excited on today. There's nothing exciting about today's calendar. There's nothing special today. Well, actually it is. It's Cyber Monday. Okay. Cyber Monday today. I did get a couple things. I have to be careful now because Brielle, I got to change my Amazon password. Brielle can see my Amazon stuff. We had a little debacle on that this weekend. Okay. But I want you to be aware of this. And so one of the things that Mike and I talked about, because I'm going to bring Mike on here, and I said, Mike, I want to bring some practicality. I want to bring actionable items to what people could do starting today to make them aware of opportunities they can have this month of December. Guys, December is typically our slowest month of the year. Slowest month of the year we're walking into. I don't know about you, but I'm sure it's also your most expensive financial month of your year because of all the Christmas gifts and parties you're going to go to. Agree? Somebody tell me they agree. Slowest month of real estate, yet the most expensive month of the year because of all the festivities and where the calendar falls on. How many would agree to that? How many would agree? Nobody? Okay. Well, I'm going to just tell you that's how it is. Okay. A couple people now agree. Okay. Just to let you know that that's what takes place. Slowest month of the year, biggest distractions, and our most expensive month because we're putting in a facade and how many gifts we're going to take pictures under the tree. And then we're going to have to figure out how we're going to pay for it in January and February. Okay. So good. Some of you agree. Appreciate it. Now, Mike, where are you, brother? Mornings with Mike Kastner, for those that know him and I go back a long history. And so I said, let's talk about what you're doing. Okay. Guys, if you missed the Thanksgiving with your database, don't like fall apart. Don't fall apart like, oh my gosh, I miss people. It's okay. Just call them this week and say happy holidays. They're not going to be upset with you and be like, I cannot believe you didn't wish me happy Thanksgiving, but today you're going to say happy holidays. Go fly a kite, bud. I'm not buying it. Like, they're not going to say that, guys. Okay. So get that fear out of your head. They will talk to you. And that's one of the things Mike and I are going to talk about, the database that you can do today. So, Mike, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
How we doing, man?
Ready to rock and roll till Monday. So
I hear you. I hear you. Am I going to have to see your Mike name here? Or am I going to get to see your video?
well, you would see the car because I'm driving down the road. So all you're going to see is the top of the car. So
Okay, I got you.
that's
Then I
why I
guess
don't do it. Sorry.
we'll keep yourself on my. So, Mike, you did your Thanksgiving. Okay, you did all your pies. I think you did like 40 or 50 pies. You traveled everywhere across the town. You and I talked several times while you're in the car about some of your topics, your conversations, kind of the frustration, fatigue, the tiredness. I mean, that's the reality of what it is. If everybody was doing it, it'd be, great. It'd be easy. But here's the thing: it's Monday. Thanksgiving's over with. Christmas is 3 weeks away. It's Cyber Monday, but that really just spends more money on things that we don't have possibly. What are you going to do today, man? Like, what is it that's something that they can do? Talk to us a little bit about your Christmas. Talk to us. We talked about your top 25. Give us some thoughts on what people could do today to help their business in a slow month.
So to me, if you know me, it's about reaching out to your sphere. I mean, we're Keller Williams. They had Gary Keller wrote that book, and I forget the name of it, but it's talking about touching your sphere and touch them throughout the year. And to me, when Wendy Smith told me this a few years back, and it really resonated and rang a bell, that I realized I was going to try and focus on that, because I always said I was never good at inventing the wheel, but I always like to look and see what people were doing, see if I could make it even better. And I realized that the people who were successful in real estate long term where people always kept saying they worked their sphere, past clients, all that stuff. And I never met someone who said, I've been in this business for 20 years and I've been hitting the phones hard every day for 20 years, calling for sale by owners, withdrawal expires. I've been hitting it really hard, doing open houses every week for the last 20 years. I circle prospect every weekend for the last 20 years without hesitation. It's always been the same thing. So it's just I'm constantly thinking about how can I do it. And I'm telling you. So the answer was I did 42 pies, and I'm telling you, golly, some of the responses I got and people, and it's like, well, hey, my neighbor over here is doing this, or hey, I'm thinking about doing that. One guy's like, I've been thinking about looking at investment property. What do you think about this? And I'm like, okay, the pumpkin pies were 8 something from Costco. So I spent $320, and it took me 4 days or parts of 4 days to get them delivered. But think about it. If I just get one out of that, just one, it's like well worth it. And you can't even count the ones that people are relaying and to other people, stuff like that. So to bring it around, what am I doing? Here it is. Ready? Boring. I'm working on my sphere. So what does that mean? So right now I'm terrible with shopping for gifts. I'm just going to leave it at that. So I talk to my daughter, and she knows our plan. I said, so I'm gonna get on the call. It's gonna ask me, what did we get our top 25 this year? And it's kind of like when I give my wife a present and she's like, oh, see, you're just as surprised as I am. Yep, because my daughter buys them. I admit it. So we're getting these really cool personalized ornaments this year that have the family name on them for each of the ones we do. So this year,
So
she
all
said,
25 of those, Mike, will get that?
yeah. So usually, and I asked her, I said, usually we get a top 10. We'll get a really nice one. That's somewhere between $50 and $100. The next 15, we'll get somewhere between like a $30 to a $60. But she said, Dad, this year I found the perfect gift. So we're going to give to our top 25 this way. So it is a nice ornament, I'm going to tell you. And I think she said they were
And
like,
how much is that ornament?
I think she said they were like $40 a piece.
Could you
So
do me a favor? Could you help us out by having Taylor or you go into the mindset motivation Facebook group and maybe give us the website or where people could find it as well?
sure, I'll ask her about that because I have a meeting with her in about 30 minutes. So yeah. And then what I do, which I do myself, and it started already over the weekend, is I send Christmas cards to my top 150, including the top 25. So then out of that, I got these really cool Thomas Kincaid. I love Thomas Kincaid. That's the guy who paints the light. And they were about 70 cents a piece, something like that. So 70 cents times 150. So I spent about $100 there. And it's about, I think stamps are 55 cents. So from there, and then I will send out Christmas cards to 150. Now, my top 150 is everybody in my sphere of influence database, but it also will include some friends and family and stuff like that. So pretty much everybody I can, and I do them handwritten, and I do them. Put a note in there. I put a lottery ticket in there. Thank you, Brock. That was his idea from before. And I also handwrite out the envelopes and everything like that, so nothing's pre-printed. So just as a real quick follow-up from there, those will go out. And then what I'll start doing is somewhere through this month, because again, it's slow. Although, like I said, I was telling Brock, I picked up a volunteer job. So when I said I was working at 2 o'clock, I was working Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at that job because I know at 2 o'clock I was there. So my time's going to be a little bit challenging because it's a 40-hour week job till Christmas, helping out. So I'm really having to budget my time. But from there, what I'm going to start doing is I always start doing the oh my god the CMA. Golly, what is that real estate term? Where I
The
do
CMA
property
and
valuation.
RPRs.
So RPRs, so that they're ready on January to go out. Because what I'll do in January is I will send that out with an email that says, "Hey, just a reminder, it's tax time coming up. If you needed information from your closing documents when you closed in the last year or two or three, I keep them on file through either skyslope.loop or something like that. And here's an RPR value. It's going to be a little bit tough this year because the email's got to say something like, probably saw it go down a little bit, but talk a little bit about that." So that's where I'll go into in January. So right now, in my next 60 days, my plan is get the Christmas gifts in. They're supposed to be delivered by the 10th. I asked Taylor before when she got here. So I will hand deliver those. I will then work on Christmas cards through the rest of this month. And then if and when I get those done in time and I got some extra time, then I'll start on my RPRs and the email. It'll be a template email about remembering tax. I got your tax forms and stuff like that.
So, guys, I'm not too sure if you understand this. You do all do, but don't say that you don't have something to do. Like, there's plenty to do. I just told you, like, December 1st is this Thursday. So Thursday and Friday, for those that are wild and crazy, you have an opportunity to call expires and withdrawals because they're going to be bust out. We had over 100 in November. I'm sure we'll have 100 in December. You have RPRs, people, guys, it could be friends and family. This is not designated just to your past clients because somebody's going to say, well, Brock, I don't have a lot of past clients. Okay, great. Send it to family and friends then. Just let them know that you're in the real estate world. But I love the script and the follow-up for the next 60 days. Today, it's Christmas. Okay. Some of the things I've also heard on Christmas cards that people could do, you're like, well, I don't have time. Okay. I'm going to come up, I'm going to handle that objection. Okay. I also was told that some of the people, some of the larger companies are taking Christmas cards, personalizing them of their family pictures, of themselves, of whatever it might be, because you can't just go. Do not do this. Do not go to like a website and see mass Christmas cards. It's not going to work, guys. That is going to, they're going to look at it and be like computerized, and they're going to throw it out. You might like to think that they're going to be really emotional with it. That's why I like Mike, how he does his own pen and paper, his own handwriting, puts it in there. Okay. For those that say, well, I don't have time for that or blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then get your personalized Christmas card, put your logo on there. Okay. And send those out. At least it's personalized of you with your family or whatever it is, instead of just a mass card. That is, it's not going to work, because you're going to be like, that didn't work. Well, I'm just telling you this right now. It's not going to work. Mass Christmas cards, personalizing them. You go to the dollar store to get Christmas cards. You can go to Walmart to get Christmas cards. Okay. I always find it fascinating. We have no problem whipping out our credit card to go to a bar or go to a restaurant and go someplace and spend $60 to $75, but we have a problem going to the dollar store or Walmart to spend $30 on like 100 cards. Like that could generate you business this time of year. It could generate you conversations. So I thought that was good. And then the next plan is in January, putting out your RPRs, talking about your CMAs, talking about how I can help you with your tax season. Why? Is because people are going to be hurting for money. And now the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to try to get their taxes in, thinking that there's a big dollar amount waiting for them on the other side. And, you know, so there's a lot of people who look for their tax refund, especially if you're a W-2 employee. So I thought that was really good, Mike.
So one thing I'd like to add, because you
Yeah.
brought up, so again, when I first started with Keller Williams, I didn't have a lot of people in my database either. But I remember Wendy Smith, I have a ton of respect. And I'm telling you, if anybody wants to learn anything more in depth, I learned it from Wendy Smith. You need to pick her brain. But I told her that exact same thing. It's like, Wendy, I don't know. She says, well, do you know 25 people? And I said, yes. And she said, that's your top 25. And you keep using that. And the reason why she said, and it was so good, is because you get in the habit of going to your top 25 list. And then what happens is when you move somebody in, your top 25 should be people that are going to refer you business this year. So when you bring somebody in, like let's say you sell something or you list something and it closes, you bump somebody off the top 25, they go into your top 50. And you keep bumping people. It sounds like a lot of work, but it's not. Your top 25, create the list. The first thing is just create the list so you're in the mindset of when this rolls around, that's your top 25. And then it sounds like a lot when you're bumping people, but it's not, because that's your number one tool. And then so you, after a while, you start realizing, okay, my top 25, these are people that are supposed to be referring me business, one deal every year. And if somebody else comes in and they get bumped off, then they go to the top 50. And if they get bumped off, they go to my top 150. So just do it. Because if you just say, I only know one client or two clients, then put family and friends into the other 22 or 23 and just keep bumping them off as you go. So you just got to get in the mindset, because when she said to do it, that forced me to set up my system through my CRM. It forced me to do it regularly. And the only things that changed were the names of who got what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the for those that you guys probably laugh at me. Like I was a transactional based agent. Okay. I wasn't in my sphere of influence. All my business came from transactions of me calling FISBOs in expireds. And then I switched that over in starting to develop the relationship business. So that way your phone could call you, like, hey, I'm thinking about selling. Well, you have to stay front of mind with them, and Wendy does a really good job with that. Mike picked it up a lot faster than I have. Like I had to role play conversations with my past clients. I know that sounds sad, but like I struggle having previous conversations with my past clients because my brain only operates of like right now, this is what I got. Who's my next one? What's my next challenge? And so once I get done with the past client in my brain, it just says, well, you're already done with them, Brock, move on. And so I had to create a challenge inside my head of how do I stay front of mind with them. And so Mike has done a phenomenal job doing that. And so I hope today you were able to get some value. Mike, anything you want to conclude with, buddy?
No, that's all I had to say.
So if you guys can give us a thumbs up, because one of the things we're trying to do is incorporate value in the call, not only mindset, but value for you to take away this week of something. So if you found some value on it, give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, give us something that you were able to take away from today. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. That you're able to use this information. I'm also going to challenge those that are on Facebook to type in somebody's name, because when you type in somebody's name, it triggers them to get on this call, because they might need to hear this too. They might need to hear these situations, or this value, this coaching, to be able to help them, because this is what it's all about, is getting yourself in the right mindset. Glenn said it perfectly. The mindset says it's the slowest. Okay. In your brain, you can control that of this is the slowest month. It doesn't have to be. December has been a pretty good month for me, typically because nobody else is calling. All right. So you got opportunities today to be able to do that. Remember, it's the first of the month coming up. So expireds and withdrawals. If you want the dashboard that I use with 𝐰𝐰𝐰, just send me a message and we'll reach out to you to help give you. We got free 30 days. Take advantage of this in December with 𝐰𝐰𝐰. Glenn has been holding me very much accountable. I got a heavy day today, really this week. I had about 3.5 hours lined up today. I don't know what my Wednesday looks like because Bryce distracted me, but I got probably triple the amount of phone calls or time allotted to be able to get to my listing numbers that I need to. It's all on my calendar. So just keep that in mind today. Guys, it is 8:44. Don't forget, if you're interested in the power players with my coaching, feel free to take a look at the links. We got that in Facebook as well in the group chat. Also, December 15th, I'm doing my prospecting or my black belt of personalities. So if you're interested in coming to that webinar, feel free for that. Guys, thank you so much for being on here today. Good luck today on this Monday. Listen to some music, get yourself primed up, get yourself juiced up, talk to people that are going to energize you. Have a phenomenal Monday. Good luck to you all. Hopefully see you in some of our coaching programs. Thank you so much, Mike, and have a phenomenal day, guys. Good luck to you out there today. We'll see you guys later tomorrow at 8:15 with Sandy. Bye, guys.